Today's show is sponsored in part by Rhone. Men's closets were due for a radical reinvention, and Rhone stepped up to the challenge. Rhone's commuter collection is the most comfortable, breathable, flexible set of products known to man, and here's why. There's a product for every occasion. Mobility is everything. Looking good is easy, and it has odor-free tech. Guess what I chose to drive to the Indian Wells tennis tournament? Rhone. That's right. I had a 2.5-hour drive. I threw on my clothes. I got there. I took pictures. I looked great thanks to Rhone. I had a beautiful polo and some tan slacks. I was comfortable in the car. I was comfortable when I was chatting. I was comfortable when I was sitting. The commuter collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to rhone.com/spike911 and use promo code spike911 to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to rhone.com/spike911 and use code spike911. It's time to find your corner office comfort. Let's start the show.
Spike's Car Radio starts now.
Shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime, sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything.
Sultans of Swing.
A band is blowing Dixie.
Whenever somebody comes on the show, we ask them what's their favorite driving song. Well, what you're listening to,
feel alright
Sultans of Swing. It's Max Greenfield's favorite song. He's here with us. Zuckerman's here. Gentlemen, you like this song too. You guys can't hear it. You don't have the headphones on.
This was one of the greatest songs of the mid-'70s.
It still just chills you out when you drive.
Competition in other places.
Oh man, I can tell why you like this song, Max. It's a really good driving song.
It's a good LA driving song.
Yeah. When I texted you and I said, "Hey, pick a song for the Open," was that a hard decision for you, or did this go boom?
It really could have taken me out. I stopped for a minute and I went, you know what? Just don't overthink this. Go Sultan Swing. I listened to it beforehand before I sent it to you, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, let me, and then
you overthought it.
Moments in, I go, no, this is the right one.
He overthinks everything. In the olden days, when Sultans of Swing was on the radio, it played in tandem a lot with Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty.
Yeah.
Another great song, but very much not a driving song, very much a late night, depressed, drinking song.
I now want to know what your guys' driving songs are.
It's a hard question. Usually I hate questions like this, and I try. Usually I wait till the people show up in the studio and go, "Give me a song that you like to play." I don't think I have a favorite driving song per se. I do like the Eagles when I'm in an old Land Rover. Like that.
That's interesting. But dependent on what car you're in.
Yes.
The music.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sure.
Of course. Like today I was listening to Superfly, and that just that really just worked for me.
What were you driving?
I was driving a 92 BMW, but just going a little too fast on the PCH, listening to Superfly really works for me.
And I'm in that Bentley Continental GTC, and I was listening to obnoxious EDM. Electronic music, and it really made sense to me.
Really?
Except I was next to a guy, smelled a cigar on the 101, and there was a guy in a white Rolls Royce Cullinan, window down, sunglasses, big goofy beard, big cigar. And I thought, I'm a little conflicted about this fella. Like, on the one hand, it's easy to dismiss him as a loser, right? On the other hand, it's kind of great what he's up to right now. He's just using that thing and ruining it in one drive. Doesn't care. Do you respect that? Do you like that?
The guy you're describing is probably in the funeral home right now. These guys they're going to die any second.
This was a young guy.
Still.
Kind of like Max here. Young fella.
I'm still a little caught up on the EDM
It doesn't make sense.
that you were listening to.
Okay, well, here's what happens. You know, they used to be that we would listen to our favorite cool bands when we were younger, right? Now everything's blended together, and you're trying to find new music, and it's new and it's old, and I rely on Spotify and what it recommends, and here's where it gets all wrapped up. When I go to the gym, I like EDM because it keeps me running, keeps me working out, right? I don't necessarily like the songs, but the beat keeps me moving forward. But then at some point, I got hooked on the songs and I started liking it.
Ew.
So I'm all over the place. So on any given day, if I'm writing, I'm listening to classical music sometimes. If I'm just doing normal stuff, it's a lot of classic rock. I make room. I went to music. So I like all music.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
just
yeah.
have different places to put it.
EDM.
Okay. The EDM too.
He'll be naked at Burning Man next
That's
year.
right.
I won't go there. I won't
There's
go
like
to
some
Burning.
circus festival in Vegas.
Yeah.
Spike, what are you doing back? I'm going to the EDM circus.
Yeah, Electric Daisy or something
Yeah,
like
some
that.
shit like
I'll be
that.
there naked.
He corrects us on what it's called.
I've never wanted to. It's too much dust, that event. People are too dirty. I wouldn't want to be that dirty for a long
Disgusting.
time. It's disgusting, right?
I can't.
Have you ever been to Burning Man, Max?
No, thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not for us. You went?
I've been there.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. But I cheated. You know, it's supposed to be radical self-sufficiency. And my idea of radical self-sufficiency was booking a flight to land on the playa, staying about 36 hours.
In what? In
and
what kind of vehicle? A balloon or something?
No, they have a little landing strip.
Yeah.
And so I had a little propeller plane. Flew me in. I landed there, and they took me out of there about 36
Who'd you go with?
hours later. There was a group of people there that I knew. A business associate had a big camp there, and so I wanted to see.
Can you imagine if that had crashed and killed him? That story.
I wish it
Zuckerman
would.
dies at Burning Man. There aren't two more different things than Burning Man and Zuckerman. I thought.
Also,
I'm stunned to hear this.
Didn't it rain there last year?
No,
Yeah,
I
it
wasn't there for that.
People got
it was
stuck.
It was some years ago. Burning Man, Zuckerman.
So that's what attracted you.
It really doesn't add up. I was a fish out of water. Keep your drugs away from me. Everybody's trying to come up to you, give you drugs, give you dirty love with their dirty bodies and hugs. And just the fuck away from me.
What is happening?
It's amazing you didn't do the math on that before you got on
Yeah.
the plane.
I had no idea what I was walking into. I thought I was
You
going
are
to
right
the.
about that. That is a really dumb oversight.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was going to be as bad
As
when I
bad.
got there. And
Look-
no, it is. It's very dirty.
Is that your Zuckerman impression?
I don't know.
I should point out that we have known each other, the three of us, for many decades,
Decades.
right?
Yes.
2 decades, right. This isn't just out of the blue that Max is on the show. We all were in Hollywood together and enjoyed coffee and donuts together many times
Many.
back in the day. And now we're here with Max because he's a major movie star and television star.
He can't take it.
Look at him laughing.
He can't
And
take it.
Dodger fan, apparently. Look at his hat.
I do like the Dodgers.
Right when we met you, you weren't really all that famous, were you?
Not at all.
No.
No, I wasn't.
We
What?
remember you as nobody.
Forget about not famous. I didn't have a job. I wasn't working.
He didn't have anything. He didn't even have potential.
That's right.
You reminded me of this
Yes.
in the morning.
And what was that big moment? I'm going back. Like I've obviously, I see you on CBS in the Neighborhood. You were on New Girl. That was a big deal. What was the big
That was the
moment?
thing.
Veronica Mars, was that the big moment for you?
No.
So you're
New Girl was the big thing.
New Girl.
Yeah, for sure.
But you were bouncing around Hollywood and doing parts and
a little bit here and there, but had gotten to a place where I was like, I don't know. My wife had just given birth to our daughter, and I was still bouncing around auditioning. Things were not really going well, and I was like, I didn't want to be the guy who was showing up to auditions with a car seat and going, I know I'm not whispering in the scene, but I don't want to wake the baby. I go, this is ridiculous. And so I was kind of about to quit. And then
what was that? Hold on. What were you going to quit and do what?
it's a very good question.
You had no
Lawyer or
idea.
Dentist. He's got the name for lawyer or
I was
dentistry.
gonna call Paul and say, hey, you got a job?
Well, what is it? I mean, seriously, what did you study in college? Did you go to
I
college?
didn't go to college.
You didn't go to
No.
college. You're like me. Yeah, I went for a few years.
I went for a year
Yeah.
or half of a year.
And why didn't that work out for you?
Well, I feel like you're supposed to figure out what you want to do while you're like, that's what college is for. Specifically, if you don't know what that is yet, you're not going to a specialty school. And I feel like I got there and I realized that the one thing I know for sure is that I don't want to be in college. And so I left, and then I came out to LA. And
you knew you wanted to be an actor at that point.
I did not. But I felt like maybe that was something I wanted to do, but I grew up in New York. I went to University of Wisconsin for, 8 months or however long, and then had moved out to LA, and it felt like a sort of a realistic, because you're like driving around, you go, that looks like a studio where they make TV and film, and like there's just a fence between me and there. And I thought, I'd like to be an actor, and I started to get into class, and I really enjoyed it, and then made the decision I'm not going to pursue college.
But you got married before you made it.
Yeah.
That's a wild choice
For
right
her,
there.
too.
Huh?
For her.
For her,
Way
too.
more for her.
Right. Your wife is a casting director, right? Was she always a casting director?
She was a casting director. And she became
was this a strategic move for you? Like, if I marry the casting director,
This was not. Let me tell you something.
she will put me
The
in.
amount of strategy that went into any of this on both of our parts, there was none. Clearly, it was blind faith that really looked like it was dwindling.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I got married after I was sure I had a gig, right? And
Oh my God,
so I'm working on Seinfeld, right? I'm making
Sure.
decent money, and things are going good for that show at that moment and for Jerry. And even then I was like, God, is this the right time to get married? I don't want to let this girl down, right? But I went and did it. But I would never have done that until I was secure. What gave you the confidence to do that? Did you know you were going to do it, or you just loved her so much, or what? I want to know this decision.
Yeah, I mean, there was
The two things aren't
just
intertwined
did
for you.
no. It was after that.
Leave him alone.
It was way after that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just was I don't think there was any thought. I was like, we loved each other. We loved each other. We thought like we'll figure this out.
It's amazing.
And it really worked out. But there was a long period of time where it felt like, ooh, this could have gone real wrong.
Okay, so fast forward now to this audition, where the day you want to quit.
Sure. Why? Yeah. So I'll tell you. So I had an audition come in, and I had been testing for every show that there was. And when you test for a show, if you listen to this, you don't understand. It's like you go through all the, you come in, you read for the producers. The producer's like, we like this guy. If he gets the job, we're cool with that. And then you move on to meet the people at the studio, and then ultimately the network. And it's a whole thing. And you have
Tell
to
everybody about how insane that network. Did you ever do one of those insane network? You get on the stage,
so many times.
the mopey executives are sitting in the front row, and you do your lines under the most intense pressure. The worst room for comedy in history.
At least, honest to God, at least 30 times I've had to do that.
Unbelievable.
And I've gotten one of them.
It is the most awful room I've ever seen.
It's really challenging because you're not. You have to do so much inner work to prepare yourself. To
Zuckerman, you would lose your mind.
to
You
get
would
to a
lose your-
place where you're like half present,
Yeah.
just to speak.
Yeah. You pull onto the lot, you drive, you park, you go into this nondescript, horrible building, you open this door, there's, they go water or something.
By the way, then back when I was doing it, you would have to, everything was in person, and you'd show up and you'd have to sign your contract there. So they give you this
Yeah.
30-page contract with all the numbers and all of it on there, and you got to sign this, like you're signing away 7 years,
Yes.
but you're like, that's a lot of money. And then you're like doing all this thing, and then they have you go and audition.
Yeah.
So you're definitely like not thinking.
On top of which, you will get in that reception area and, oh, look, there's James Marsden and another guy that looks like me. Hey, I guess we're all reading today.
It is a full nightmare, and I had to do it so many times.
Wow.
And some of which I walked in knowing I wasn't going to get it. Some of which I thought, I'm definitely getting this. And somewhere I was like, who knows? But all versions were awful.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
awful.
Yep.
The one you got, Did you have any idea if you were getting it, not getting it?
So this was a good. So I had kind of decided that I was very close to quitting at this point. Again, we had just had our first child,
And you thought, I don't want to make money.
I was just like, I don't think this is going to happen. I
Right.
think this is like a waste of time.
Yes.
No one wants
Yes.
what I'm putting out there. And so
And there was no plan? You'd go...
zero.
Even today, when I think about getting out of this horrible business, I go, all right, well, maybe I'll lean into podcasting. Maybe I'll do, I don't know, tennis.
Got nothing.
Maybe- I don't know, whatever it is. Nothing. Zero. Just I have
About
to
to
quit.
give up to do nothing.
Yeah. Got nothing.
I'm going to take my ball and leave.
And so
Go nowhere.
Go nowhere.
that was part of I probably would have quit before I'd gotten to that point, but because I had nothing to go back to, I just like a few more auditions came in and I was like, I guess I'll keep going. But there was some show that was about like two Jewish parents and their Jewish son like coming to, whatever it was. And I remember going, well, this is me. And it was a multicam. It was well written, and I thought like I can like this I can do. This is the one I'm gonna get. And I've been testing for all these shows like right around that time. And I remember going in and reading for the producers, and I'm doing the audition and I'm looking at them and I'm realizing like, oh, clearly they're distracted. Because they're not reacting to anything I'm doing.
They're not laughing.
They're not laughing.
No.
They're not. I go. Something else is at play here. And we finished the audit. They're like, "Oh, thanks so much." And I go, "Huh, that couldn't have gone as badly as I thought it went." And so I called my agents and I go, "Hey, listen, clearly something was up. I don't know if it was me or it was them, but we should do that again." And they're like, you want to go back in? And I go, yeah, I definitely do. Something clearly was happening outside of my control in that room, and we were just not connecting the way that
that's
we
interesting
we
that you
should have
could do that,
connected.
yeah.
And they go, okay. So they called up and they're like, does he really want to come in? Yeah. So I go back in. I do the same exact audition that I had given the last time with the same exact reaction.
Oh, no.
And I walked out of there and I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm never doing this ever again.
Right.
And I really at that moment was like, I'm out.
Surrender.
Yeah.
I suck.
And yeah, I really was.
And after how many years of trying was this, do you think?
Oh my God. Well, I was 31 and I've been acting since I was, 19.
Wow.
And I was just like, it's done. Me being a working actor in this business, I don't want to do this anymore. And a few days later, the New Girl audition came in and the writing was so great. And as you know, when you have good writing, it's a lot easier for the actor. Mm-hmm. The writing was unbelievable, but also, Zooey Deschanel was probably going to do the show at that point. It was Jake Kasdan, who was a big director. Liz Merriweather, who wrote the show, was like a really hot writer. And I thought, well, there's no way I'm getting this show. But the material is so good. I'll just go in and do it because this will be fun. And that's how good the script was. Mm-hmm. And so I went in and with that attitude, truly not caring, and just had one of those moments where you're like, did the best audition that I ever had before. And they actually, throughout the testing process, because after that it was like, Studio Network, and they had us come in and read a bunch of times, and they wanted to like adjust some stuff. I think at the network they played the original tape from that audition. Wow. And got the job.
And just said that.
And then, and everything changed.
Why wouldn't it? I mean, you've got the tape, which is like watching TV. We're going to watch you on TV. What is this live stage show all about?
That's how they do it now. And I think it's so much better that way. For everyone.
Yeah, for everybody. And if you're good, you're good.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's how I got in your movie.
Is it? Did you even read for us?
Yes, of course.
You did.
We
loved you.
I get a call and they said, Jerry's directing a movie. Do you want to be a part of Jerry's movie? I go, yeah, of course. I go, do I? And I go, what do I have to do? And they go, and they're like, great.
Everybody reads.
They go, we're going to send you the material. They don't know what they want. Just make it funny. And I go, okay. And so you got to send me. I still have the video.
And it's for the part of Rick Ludwin.
Yeah.
Who's working with Amy Schumer. It's
That
a
part-
very big part of our movie.
I don't know that I knew that at that point. And so I read it. I was like, this is so much fun.
Yeah, I don't remember who came first. You may have come first.
Sent it off. And then a couple weeks later, they were like, yeah, they really liked you. They wanted to give you the part. I go,
It's that easy. It's not hard.
but that's how it should work. You send in a tape, and they either like it or they don't, and then either you're doing a show or you're
we
not.
look at a bunch of them. He's the only funny guy. You were the only funny Rick Ludwin. So we were like, there's the guy. It's not hard. It's never hard that way. There's always someone who comes in and walks away with a part, and that was you. Taking care of your health isn't always easy, but it should be at least as simple. That's why for the last 19 years, I've been drinking AG1 every day. No exceptions. It's just one scoop mixed in water once a day, every day, and it makes me feel energized and focused. That's because each serving of AG1 delivers my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more. It's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. With AG1, I know I'm getting essential brain, gut, and immune health support with vitamins, probiotics, and nutrients from whole foods. I like to think of it as nutritional insurance. I sue nutritional insurance, says Zuckerman. I know I'm covering my nutritional basis right from the start with AG1, and I like to drink it first thing in the morning with water, which is recommended for optimal nutrient absorption. I fill up my shaker, I add one scoop, shake it up, and I'm ready to go. If there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1, and that's why I've partnered with them for so long. We are now in our second year of being partners. If you want to take advantage and ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs. Just took those to Indian Wells. You'll get them with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/spike911. That's drinkag1.com/spike911. Check it out. All right, back to the show. You became one of our favorite actors to have on set, if not our most favorite actor. I would never pick a favorite, but Jerry did. You were there.
It was like that ended up being one of the most surprising dream experiences.
He likened you to one of the greats, Dick Van Dyke. He goes, you realize this guy is the new Dick Van Dyke. And I said, you know what? I think you might be right. We would just laugh. We're just watching you work with your body, and your physicality is like nothing we had seen in a long time. Is that, do you think, the way you've always been, or did your show at CBS kind of hone that skill?
I don't know. I always just sort of feel like I've had this experience on a couple different sets before, especially when it's only in comedy. But when you have someone like Liz was like this on New Girl. When we'd be doing a scene and you could get Liz to laugh from Video Village, and when she was and you could hear her.
Yeah.
Liz is not an easy laugh. And when you could get Liz to laugh, there is no better feeling on planet Earth. And it gives you the confidence to then do anything. Mm-hmm. And you realize at that point, like, she'll come in and tell you you're doing too much, too little, whatever it is. But when you get her to laugh at, like, oh, I can do, like, I'm funny. I can.
Well, you clearly are. And I've got to show you the trailer, by the way, because you're all over it.
I can't wait. But so
we just finished putting it together, and I'm like, oh, there's Max. There's Max. There's Max. There's Max.
Oh my God. Well, so I had that experience with Liz, and I've had it with other people in my career where you know, Amy Poehler and Chelsea Peretti, and when you get those guys to laugh, man, it is just there is no better feeling.
Right.
And then when look, I'm not the smartest guy, but I really didn't know what the Jerry experience was going to be. And I was really nervous.
Yeah.
And I knew how aware he was going to be of rhythm and tone, and I remember walking in, and I remember just being really timid at the beginning and being like, just ease into this, let's see what happens. And you know, we did that. For that first day was interesting because we had the two kids on set, and sort of we had to shoot around them, and and it was Amy's first day too. So we were all just trying to figure out like what the rhythm of these characters were and what their rhythm together was. And then the kids left, and we got into the afternoon, and we had to do that toaster bit. And we get into the toaster bit, and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna let's start this at an 11 and see where it goes from there.
Which Jerry loves that.
And Jerry calls action, and we go, and all of a sudden I can hear Jerry laughing. And it was like, it was, I can't even articulate what that felt like.
That's fun, yeah.
I just, like, I didn't realize, I don't think, how influenced I was by Seinfeld and how much of a part of my life he was and that show was. And to hear him laugh in that way and have that approval in that moment and understand that, oh, I'm now having that moment that I had with Liz and Amy and those people that I've had that previous moment I'm now having with Jerry is, it was everything. And I realized then, I think that, like, oh, well, because we were together, we knew we were going to be together for like the next 2 weeks working up with Amy and on the show. And I go, oh man, this next 2 weeks could be really special. And it ended up being that. And I think Amy was so wonderful and great. And we ended up shooting it very much like a multicam,
right?
Where we would come in, audition. We would come in, rehearse whatever was on the page, and then Jerry, who I don't know, you guys were like 30 days in at that point, but it felt like he got very excited by this idea too. Like, oh, this is how I know how to do this.
Yeah, yeah.
We rehearsed it. He saw like what it needed and what he wanted to do with it and what he could expand on. And then you guys would go off and write. And then when the cameras were set up and ready, he'd come back in and go like this, here's the new scene. And to me, that's,
that's insane. But you were fast.
No, this is where I've lived.
Yeah, right.
And
that's
so
exactly
I'm going, this
right.
is great. Amy was like, oh my God, what is happening here? But it throws a lot of people.
Well, it does, because we had every different kind of actor in this movie. And some, like you guys, the sitcom guys, the SNL guys, are so fast. Like I would say to folks, I could call action and whisper something in their ear, here's some new lines, and they would just nail it. Guys,
but
like
when you get
fly.
into that rhythm too, what's great about it is you guys are writing. Jerry's also directing it, so he knows everything that's happening, and we're sort of moving around the new writing and adding and it all feels like everyone in that moment is working together.
Right.
And it becomes this communal experience with Jerry at the helm of it.
Who's a good laugher.
Yes, who's like now engaged and excited because
Right.
it's not like the insert shot of whatever where he's like, we really need that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like and to have that for as many days as we did was just the dream.
It was just like we used to shoot the show, with the exception of we didn't have the rehearsal and blocking days. We had to do it right before we shot. But that's exactly how we did it. You'd hear it on its feet. The actors would add what they want to add. We'd go back and go, okay, this works, that doesn't work. And then we'd all figure it out, call action, and then shoot.
And that's the most fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Because
it
feels fresh, and there's there's all this energy behind it, and everybody's involved. And at the end, you feel like, oh, we got it, and you feel really accomplished.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was the exact opposite I felt of when I was sort of, when I don't know, like I remember finishing that movie and going, where do I go from here? I don't know what to do now.
Is there
Me too.
There's a mourning period? There's some sadness, or you're bereft?
No, it's just you're having so much fun. We had so much fun on this movie. And then, Jerry, he's not like, hey, let's make 4 movies like Sandler this year. I say that, and he's like, no, I'm done. And that's it. But you go, we could just keep doing this. We could just be bringing in our favorite funny writers, our favorite funny people, and making more things, and what a life that would be. But
I really remember going like, oh, I don't know what will be as fulfilling as that.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's
Career highlight. And look at this. You were about to give up. You didn't care. You had your Morgan Freeman moment there in Shawshank Redemption where he doesn't give a fuck at the parole office anymore. And they go, fine, we're letting you out. They said, fine, we're giving you a job.
And then you get a Pop-Tart.
And then in the back of my head, I hear Zuckerman, surrender.
when people ask about this movie, I say, because they're already looking at the initial photography that's been released and going, I don't understand what I'm looking at. Like, are you doing this with Kellogg's? And we're like, no. Kellogg's didn't know we were doing it. In fact, they just recently saw the trailer last week, so they had no idea. This is not Barbie. This is not Mattel's Barbie. They had no say in what we did. And they may push paper. Who knows? But I think of this very simply as if we were in season 8 or 9 of Seinfeld and they said, here's a much bigger budget to shoot an episode. Like, the writing is, to me, the same as season 8, 9 of Seinfeld, just with a flood of money and cast whoever the hell you want in your story.
It was, and I know you guys had a couple of your writers on there.
I don't know who was there that day, but Jeff Schaefer, who was working with Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I don't know that Jeff was there
Little
when I was
Dicky,
there.
Max, Tom Gamble and Max Pross were around. Carol Leifer was around. Andy Robin, who co-wrote it with us, and we all did B-Movie together back in the day.
Yeah.
We just wanted to be around our favorite people every day.
You could tell, and when we were getting in those scenes, and everybody was coming around, and the writing was happening, it was so exciting.
And Greg.
Yeah. Zuckerman, you would have loved Greg. Greg's right up your alley.
Really?
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Greg was our writer's assistant, for lack of a better term. We never really gave him a title, who was with us from the very beginning when we were working on the movie, and we gave him a part in the movie because he was an actor as well. And you took exception to the notes I was giving him. Or I was giving him too much attention, was it? Instead of...
Greg, there was a scene where Greg is holding a mop.
He's just essentially the payoff kind of extra character of the scene with these guys, the A-listers, right?
He's part of the janitorial staff in the building, and he's holding a mop above Amy Schumer. And inside of the mop is a camera. He's like, a spy. He's basically
a spy for Post.
And all he's doing at the whole scene is holding the mop. He's got no lines. And Amy and I are doing the scene, and Spike comes sprinting onto set.
I did not sprint, but go ahead.
Sprinting onto set. I don't think I've ever seen him run in my life. Sprints onto set and goes like this. Greg. Jerry, can you believe this? Greg, the mop. Me and Amy are assuming like there's going to be some sort of dialogue shift or something in the scene. The mop, Greg, the mop. When you're holding the mop, what the fuck are you?
I did not say what the fuck. I did not. All I said was I want you to hold it like this. This was the comedy mop pose that I had.
Mop is a comedy word.
When I wrote this joke, I had imagined a guy. And by the way, okay, do you even know this? I was supposed to play that part.
Maybe this is.
Let's back up to that, and maybe you don't even know this. Okay, I was that guy. Okay,
I was the mop guy.
Follow this. Okay, you're right. It was your first day, and it was Amy's first day on set, and I had never met Amy Schumer, and I produced the movie with Jerry. Like, I'm the guy.
Yes,
I'm the guy running the show. Right. That morning or the night before I went, I can't shake hands and go, hi, very nice to meet you. Let me make sure your trailer's right. We're going to get you. And then go, I'm also the mop guy. I couldn't.
Is a pride thing?
No, it wasn't pride. It just seemed like the most unprofessional.
It was a pride thing.
Pride.
Yeah. Pride. I wanted to.
It's fine. Like, keep going.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we understand.
No, I just thought, how do you go, hey.
We get it. Just keep going.
Okay. Never mind.
But
And so Greg, who Greg Burke, who was helping us doing the writing. I thought, well, God, he's an actor too. Why don't I just give him that part? I call him. I go, great, you got a part. This is going to be great. You're going to be working with Max and Amy Schumer, and I'm going to come in and give you notes.
You couldn't hold them up, right?
Five takes. Five takes. Not a single note on any of the acting in the scene. Every time. Spike comes out of Video Village. Usually it's the direct. Jerry comes in and be like this. All right, guys. You do this. And Spike running in every take. Not on any other scene. Greg, you're holding them up all wrong. Greg, you're holding them up all wrong. When you have to, with your right hand, and then he goes, show me how you're going to hold them up. And Greg holds them up, and he goes like this, no, that's not.
I will tell you this, since I've seen all the testing and I've been through it, consistently in the top 3 jokes is Mop Guy. So I'm defending the way I held it up. But what's even better, what you didn't see, is Jerry and I were conspiring together in Video Village for the appropriate comedy mop angle. And you're right. The real sin was we're just giving Mop Guy all the attention while our A-list actors are sitting there, and we're not even directing them. But that was the show. That was part of our show. What is this? I was looking at your credits before you came by, and there's one that I can't figure out. You played the Hamburglar in the McDonaldland TV series?
Hold on. Let me open my water.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Well, we can do an ad right now. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. A common misconception about relationships is that they have to be easy to be right, but sometimes the best ones happen when both people put the work in and make them great. Therapy can be a place to work through the challenges you face in all of your relationships, whether with friends, work, your significant other, or anyone. Nobody knows better than Zuckerman and Lieberman and me. We are all and have benefited from years of therapy to get to the point of what you're hearing right now. Maybe you need to use BetterHelp instead of our people. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. What you're going to love about it is it's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/Spike911 today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Spike911 and start having a happier life. Back to the show. It's according to IMDb, it says McDonaldland TV series.
Well, I'm glad it's credited.
And it's been on the air for 20, 30 years. And it says you are the Hamburglar.
Is that your first part?
No, it was after New Girl. Yeah, they did. I forget what the promotion was. It was a McDonald's commercial, and they did.
That's it.
Yeah, and they did a promotion. It was like something about the Hamburglar or whatever it was.
But was it a comedy Hamburglar, like Max is playing the Hamburglar, or were you really just?
No, I wasn't dressed. No, I said, "Am I going to wear
the striped
like a prison uniform?" And they said, "No, God."
Did you have something over your head?
No.
Oh.
I asked, and it's funny. I had the same question, and their response was like, "Oh God, no!" And I was like, "Well, hold on. What am I doing here then?"
Were they paying you a lot of money to do that?
Of course.
Oh, that's good. That makes sense. I thought this was one of
anything
these.
that doesn't make sense on my IMDb page.
Yeah.
Just assume
that it
there
makes
was
money.
A paycheck behind it, and my wife said, "You're doing that."
Does she help you get parts now? Does she represent you, or is that a conflict of interest there? You could have my husband.
She always represents me.
She does?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Not in real life.
Oh.
Not like as a real representative, but she is my at-home and in-life representative.
And but she's, I'm sure, got great advice about what to take and what not to take, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think she always has a really good perspective on everything.
Wow. Well, I have a ton of questions for you that we can get to. Listeners that have questions for you. What'd you drive here today? Your 4Runner, right? I can't remember what we were talking about on the set regarding cars. Were you the Rivian guy? You were the Rivian guy.
Well, no, I was very curious. You were driving the Rivian, and I was very curious about your experience with it.
Right. But you're a 4Runner guy. You like Toyota 4Runners.
So before I got my 4Runner, it was during the pandemic, and I had an Audi Allroad, and I had one previous to then, I think, and maybe I had like a 2016. My lease was up, or 2015, whatever. My lease was up, and I said, I love this car. I want to get another one. So I didn't even, I just rolled it over and got whatever the new version of the Allroad is. And I really liked the car, but they had made significant upgrades in it. And there were all of these computers that were like going off at times that I didn't understand. And I'm not good with that stuff.
Yeah.
And it would scare me. and there was also something called Audi Presense.
You're talking about the driver's aids.
Yes.
Right, lane change,
all
and
this shit.
all of that stuff.
And they had this thing called Audi Presense where like it would sense if something was around or you might hit something, and the car would stop
Oh, yeah.
abruptly.
Yes. Can't you turn it off?
Okay. I was told this several times that you could turn this off.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out how to do it.
I'll tell you what. I just picked up my wife's new Tesla a minute ago, right? Mm-hmm. And I was setting it up for her, and I got to that little turn on, turn off. It's a really hard decision to make because on the one hand, you go, well, this could save everybody, right? It's a pre-collision. It will break the car. On the other hand, if you get too close to somebody changing lanes, sometimes it just stops. Like, what do you think about that, Zuckerman?
I hate that. I'm with Max. I can't handle the technology. I want to, the minute I'm faced with any technology in a car that I'm not familiar with,
but there's
I turn my back on it.
There's no
Don't want it.
liability there, is there?
No, there's no liability for turning it off.
I mean, I drive fairly aggressively, and I set these things off all the time. I have to turn them off because I'm in these emergency braking situations, which can cause accidents behind me. I don't like any of them.
No one is obligated to use those things. Maybe one day the law will change, but right now, no. And I'm with Max. I would have been fine if technology stopped in cars in, like, say, 95 or so. And then simple.
I'm the same way. So I said, I hate.
You wear suspenders?
Yes.
I hated the car. And at some point I was like, and during the pandemic, I was like, we might be dead any day now.
Yep.
I don't know what's happening. I've got to get rid of this car. I hate it so much. And so I got out of the lease. I don't know how much I paid. And I told this guy that I work with that helps us with cars, I said, I just please get me, all I want is a Toyota 4Runner. And he goes, great. Surprisingly, not that easy to get.
Yeah, not during the pandemic.
No. And so
but that's the,
we found this guy. It's a 2021 Trail Edition. Mm-hmm. I've never loved a car more in my and I'm not a big car guy.
What do you love about it?
It's simple. There's no computers except for I can plug my phone in and they have Sirius and that's cool and like all the stuff, like the easy stuff. But it drives beautifully. It drives as smooth as any of the Audis I ever had, or whatever.
The kids can ruin it.
I've got cloth seats in there, or whatever you call them.
Stain them up.
Yeah, the kids shit all over this car, and it adds, and honestly, adds character to it.
Right,
great,
because it's a truck.
And I love it.
There it is. That's all it is.
I drive so much because my daughter's in club volleyball. We drive everywhere.
Ooh, wow, she tall?
Those days.
Not really.
No.
But down to Anaheim every other weekend, and you better love your car if you're going to drive around that much. And it's the best. I love the car.
This term "car guy," I'm pretty tired of it on our
show.
It's just like if you like these things. If you just articulated a perfect opinion about what's to like about a car that's very accessible, right? We're not a show that drills down on the engines and the way the suspension, blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. They care about that, what you
like.
You just sold some
and
Toyota 4Runners. By the way, my son's favorite car, my 14-year-old, it's all he talks about is this car.
What, the Toyota?
Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best.
He likes these. He likes the Tundra.
Have you guys had a Dax Shepard on here?
No, not yet. But I know Dex.
Yeah, Dax is
Or met Dex.
Dax is very into cars.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I was with him, and the Audi was giving me problems, and I said, "Hey man, I need your advice." I go, "I'm going to buy a new car. What should I get?" And I'm sort of like looking. I was like, "I want an SUV," and he goes, "Buy a Toyota."
Yeah.
Because you'll have it forever.
Yeah.
And he is
Great advice.
totally right.
Yeah. There you go.
I've never loved a car more.
That's your
now
brand.
I'm looking at the older ones.
Good. We like that.
I sent you that
Which
pickup.
one?
Land Cruisers.
There's a couple different generations. There's the first. The Land Cruisers get too expensive. I don't want. It's so much car. There's the first gen 4Runners, which are very cool, and the back and like the top.
So you're going
comes
to
off.
collect 4Runners.
There's the first gen.
I've never heard this before.
The first gen.
This is new.
The first gen 4Runner is very cool. So like the back half of it comes off, but it's like a pickup truck with no
window.
no window in the back.
This is because you can go and get to the machine gun back there, like you're.
Yeah.
Like Toyotas at war.
I got to put my daughter back there, and I have it.
Yeah.
But so for the first gen 4Runners are really, really cool. And then like if you get a real clean one with the original decaling on the side, like the stripes or whatever, it's very cool.
He's got the bug a little bit.
And then
Listen to him. Look at his face.
Decaling. Yeah. He got the decaling on the side, the original
What is
one.
the first year for a Toyota 4Runner? I mean, I
90?
don't even know.
no, I think it's 89.
Yeah.
Or no.
You know, it's the
It might
first-
be 86.
It is the first SUV I ever bought, new one, when I
What-
was on
what year?
Seinfeld.
So they switched it over.
97 or
Yeah,
so.
so they switched it over. I think in 91 or 92, where it was a full body top.
Yeah. And I
And
remember
those are
doing
cool,
the same
too.
thing. I said, "Hey, I just need something to like get around and take my dog in and go hiking and stuff. So get me a 4Runner." They go,
Yeah.
"What color?" I go, "Don't care." They sent me some metallic red deal, and I loved it.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
the red's cool. White's really cool too.
I had a used Jeep Cherokee before that, and then sold it to my friend, and it burned down the next week. And I said, "Well, that's it. That's your problem, buddy." My friend John. He goes, "There you go." He goes, "The car burnt down." I go, "Well, it's not mine anymore." Anything else?
The Toyota pickups are very cool too.
Yeah.
We were talking about this. You were like, I saw Christian Bale just driving around in some Toyota.
He does. Yeah.
They're so good.
Old one?
He drives around in a pre-owned Toyota. I forget which one. But we see him all the time on the west side here. You think he's the pool guy, and you look over and you go, "Oh shit, that's Batman."
Yeah.
Staring straight ahead.
And he's got his drums of chlorine.
He's keeping his low
Shepherd's crook in
profile.
it.
Zuckerman and I were both wondering what is Dobbs Ferry?
Yeah, what the hell? What is that?
What is
It's a
that?
town.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
At Long Island in Huntington, a normal.
It's
but-
in Westchester.
Okay.
Tell us what Dobbs Ferry.
A normal sounding place. Mr. Dobb. Where is he? Is there a ferry there?
It was. Maybe at some point. We were right on the Hudson River.
Okay, this sounds very nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Why are you laughing?
We Dobbs Ferry is in Westchester County. Where
Did you grow up with a lot of money?
no, but
No.
And how were you in Dobbs Ferry?
And how were you there? How much money did you?
what is your financial background?
What is you? Yes.
Were you
This is Dobbs Ferry or Hoppers Ferry?
grandparents bankers?
But they come over on the boat like my grandparents. Lice-ridden.
Seriously, neither of us-
lice-ridden immigrants.
Neither of us did.
Yeah.
Neither of us knew what Dobbs Ferry was. I've always found it to be one of the most interestingly named places, but I don't even understand what is Dobbs, because it's on the Hudson. Is that what it's on?
It's on the Hudson. If you take the Hudson River line up from Grand Central, it's like Yonkers, Hastings, and then Dobbs.
Yonkers.
But where does the ferry come in? Why didn't they just call it Dobbs?
I'm not a historian on the town. I can't
Greg!
totally.
Greg!
This is more of a Greg question.
Is there a Mr. Dobbs anywhere?
There might be. I don't know. Again, these all feel like
Or is it
Greg
just
questions.
Dobbs?
These are all Greg questions.
Or
that I
AI
have.
questions.
I'm getting hot about it. I don't understand the ferries. let's talk about Race Deck. Over 2 decades ago, Race Deck was invented, a cost-effective, durable, and truly do-it-yourself modular floor system engineered for the garage. Race Deck's multi-patented design allows for an easy DIY installation without all the hassles and mess of toxic epoxy coatings, transforming your garage in just hours, not days. Choose from over 20 styles to create the coolest garage on your block. Don't just take my word for it. My hangar at Santa Monica Airport right now has a new floor thanks to Race Deck and Jorgen, who put it all together, sent it there, and I can tell you, they put the damn thing together in a couple hours. I was down there. It is absolutely beautiful. It solved all the issues I had because it is a Cessna hangar made for planes and not exactly weatherproof on the floor, and they were able to put it in. It also solved the major problem of my old floor. The old tiles would move around. You'd start a car that had a little too much horsepower and it'd kick the tiles up. Well, that's not going to happen anymore because I have Race Deck, engineered to be a true DIY garage flooring system. It goes in really quick. 20 styles to transform that ugly garage into the coolest garage on the block. Self-draining design allows for liquids to flow freely to drains or out the door. That's what I needed. You know my old Land Rover. It leaks, but now it leaks through the floor and out to the ocean. I'm just joking. And it can handle rolling loads in excess of 80,000 pounds. Doesn't chip, peel, or stain. 33 patents. Can't be wrong. Shop at racedeck.com and use code SPIKE911 for 15% off. Exclusive to you, the listeners. 15% off and ships free. And remember, racedeck.com is a Porsche-friendly company. Back to the show. All right, let me get through some more of my questions. They're all over the place, by the way. Are you going to watch the Oscars tonight? Do you watch that?
I mean, maybe there is a Knicks game on at 4, so I don't think so.
I can't tell if I'm going to. Do you watch it, Zuckerman?
I'm not watching that crap.
Okay.
You don't have to get so angry about it. Just say no, I'm not.
And then
I'm probably not going to watch it.
Because everybody, you're going to watch the Oscars? What are you doing for the Oscars? I'm not doing anything. I'm napping. That's what I'm going to do.
You're going to take a nap at 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, why not?
It's
really 3 o'clock because we put the hours.
Doesn't it seem like anything that happens will be on the internet the next day? We can just catch up with it there. I am interested. Kind of.
I'm kind of interested to see. I'm always interested.
Yeah. But I don't know that I'll sit and watch 4 hours. I'll just catch up with it the next day and who won and go.
There's so much
great.
I haven't seen these days. In the olden days,
Yes.
less categories,
Tell us,
less
Grandpa.
movies, easier to be in the know. Now, I don't know anything.
I don't know what to do with that, Greg. Okay. You're also Rob Report told me you're selling a house in Malibu. So I opened up. I turned on my browser. You're right there. It's like Max Greenfield this morning. You got a little.
made it to
Are you getting a
Malibu?
bigger Malibu beach house? Is that what's happening? Are you one of these like Ellen DeGeneres, or DiCaprio flippers? Are you trading properties all over the place?
Yeah, we own several properties in Montecito, and we deal them often.
It's a great looking little house.
It's great. So we bought this little place. We bought this little place right before the pandemic hit in December. We went down to the beach. We saw this place. We looked at it. We threw in an offer. We never thought they would take it. And it was this tiny little, truly as beat up and weird as you get. I remember we walked in and the woman who was living there in the main room, like the sort of the coffee table was a coffin.
for real.
For real. And I was
Amazing.
like, this place is odd. But it needed a lot of work.
Did she ever explain the coffin? Did she?
Didn't want to know.
Did it come with a deal? Did you put it in
No,
the offer?
actually, it was the only part of the deal was like, please, God, take that out of here. I don't know.
Did you ask if there was anything in it?
No, I didn't. I didn't want to know.
Was the woman like a creepy Halloween person, or
We never met her.
you never met her?
Dude.
So you walk in and there's a coffin there, and you
Yeah.
said, "Honey,
decide to buy.
we're gonna buy this house."
Well, the deck was beautiful.
They chucked the coffin off the deck.
I go, if you throw the coffin off the deck.
I can't
But it was
imagine.
just like a small little place, and we thought like, so we put this offer, and anyway, they accepted the offer, and then we got really lucky, and we were like, we started work on it. The pandemic hit, and we were able to sort of like finish it throughout that period. And my wife did such an incredible job on it. If you look at it now, like you can see the pictures, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
But,
it's
like,
beautiful.
We have this great place now down in the Palisades that we never use because the kids are running around doing club volleyball. I spend 100 times more time in my Forerunner than I do in this like beautiful house we have in the Palisades. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so
You're a taxi driver,
it's
and
now
then you go to work.
It's now on Rob Report.
There you go.
There you go.
Let's get it, Zuckerman.
Let's steal it from him. Let's put him in a coffin. Let's put him in a coffin and out the back door.
Right after this, we're going to do that. Did you see that Johnny Lieberman was in the North Pole
Yes,
and put your Zuckerman head sticker?
absolutely. That's as close as I'm ever
He was
getting.
I've never seen him happier than that picture. He was so happy.
He's a simple man.
But put a sticker of your face made a man like Johnny Lieberman smile like that. You saw the smile,
Yes.
right?
Where are your guys' heads at with cars these days? Are you coveting anything?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm driving this beautiful Bentley Continental GTC that I just returned from Indian Wells, Tennessee, which was outstanding on the highway. Outstanding tennis car.
So you just get cars now like
Every week.
real.
Cybertruck is Monday. I've got that. And then I've got some International Scout Resto Mods coming Friday. New operation.
Who runs this?
All the different manufacturers have press departments, and they either ping us or we ping them and say, hey, in the case of this Bentley, I pinged my friends over at Bentley, and I said, I'm going here. I'm going to be guests of the folks at the Tennis Channel and Babolat Tennis Rackets. I'm going to be doing little apparent stuff. I'd love to have a car and roll that in. I'm going to have my Roan athletic gear sponsors on the show, and Roan clothing. I don't know if you know who Roan is.
Yeah.
And the sponsor is Rolex, and I'll be wearing my Daytona, my new Daytona with a white dial. And I put together the whole thing, right? And it kind of makes sense there. And you have a little moment, and it's beneficial for all of us. So, Bentley goes, sure, we're going to send you this beautiful car.
Did
Right?
they ever give cars to Zuckerman?
They do, occasionally. Whether he will take them or not is a different
That's
story.
the thing. Spike loves the experience. They bring the car to his house.
I like this.
Yeah.
It gets offloaded. He's there. He's watching. I'm out the door so early. I'm sitting at my desk for 12 hours. I leave. I don't have time for the delivery nonsense and then arranging for it to go back. So I just say,
And look, there's 300 cars in this room right now.
Yeah.
He also has to drive. I have one of his cars that I haven't driven in 2 weeks. It's been in my garage stuck there.
Are these all of your cars? Are there more?
yeah, there could be more.
There could be more?
There probably are.
Okay.
These are good questions.
Don't ask how many. That's like asking a woman of a certain age how old she is.
I didn't ask.
You don't
I didn't
wanna,
ask.
You don't want to know.
Nobody who collects
Do you
lots
have
of-
anything that you're looking at right now?
No.
Really?
I'm so happy with...
we do have cars coming in.
We do have cars coming. So I have stuff that's due to arrive, both new and old. So there's enough stuff in the pipeline that need to fill the empty hole in my soul.
Understood.
There's stuff that's coming
What's
in there.
the closest car you've ever bought? What's the closest you ever come to with a car to filling the hole?
To filling the hole?
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's a good question. That's a really
I can
good,
think of a bunch.
I can think of a bunch, but right now
GT3s.
GT3s really work, but
That's like 8 or 9 really good days.
yeah. That 51, the
I'm not
51
lying.
356
Ooh, very good.
really
Yeah.
has been floating on the
yeah.
blackness for a long time. It hasn't quite sunk in there yet and
Yeah.
disappeared. So it's a very early 356. This little 66 VW has managed to stay in my good graces. I love this little simple thing. I don't
How
know
long have
why.
you had that one?
It must be like about almost a year now.
I think
I
so.
feel like I remember when you. I mean, it wasn't your first car, but I remember you got a white Porsche.
That was my first GT3.
Yeah, I remember
in 2007.
and you said to me, "Come outside. I got to show you something."
And it's not my Pekka.
And I went, "What the fuck is going on?" And so we went outside. And you're like, "Look at this thing." And then you took me around the whole car. You're so
really?
Yes. you
Which
were so
car is
excited.
this, Zuckerman?
My first GT3, the 2007 and 997.1
Oh, wow.
GT3.
I don't remember this car.
And it was my first brand new Porsche that was really nice, and I
remember-
loved that car. I just thought, my God, this is the world's greatest car.
Yeah.
You were so excited. I remember it vividly. And you opened the door. And you had me sit in the passenger seat, and it was like charcoal gray.
Yeah.
And you go, Suede,
Alcantara.
and he just kept going like this. Feel it, feel it, feel it. And it was the most excited I've ever seen you. And I go, this is really nice. I'm glad he had this.
There's a picture of me. There's a picture of me as a kid with that same face. I'm like a little kid, like 2 or 3, and Jerry always says, "They must have shown you your first bag of money, right? to get that look out of you." That's a very sweet Zuckerman story. A completely unjaded Zuckerman story.
No, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was nice. And I remember this. I remember everything about the car because you were so genuinely excited about it. There was nothing attached to you showing me this. It was just like, I need to show this to somebody.
Greenfield.
JSW Cars wants to know, what was your dream car as a kid, Max? Did you have one? And it's okay if you didn't.
I don't know that I ever did have like a dream car as a kid.
Schmidt is one of the greatest characters in TV history. So what would a 50-year-old Schmidt fill his garage with right now? Instagram car.
Oh, Schmidt would be all into the technology. He would be the self-driving Tesla, the whatever that car you're getting soon, the truck, the
Cybertruck.
He'd be all into that shit.
Wow, you really know that character well, huh?
What's that like?
You just immediately knew the answer to that question.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
What's that other one? Someone just got this on our show. It's not the Tesla, but it's
The Lucid.
The Lucid.
Yeah.
Such a funny name. Such a funny name for a car brand. Lucid. I'm never lucid. Sounds like a medication. Take these pills. Take these lucid pills.
What is this
You know?
about the Ford Flex? Did that character
Schmidt
drive?
drove a Ford Flex.
He
on
did.
that. Yeah.
Did you drive that car a lot? I like the way that car looks. I've always I look at it.
No,
you know,
Zuckerman will like this story. So, and maybe Ford probably will not. I was so mad about that Ford Flex because Ford was a sponsor on our show for a period of time, and God bless them, And so I drove this Ford, but there was one year where Hyundai wanted me to do a Super Bowl commercial, and I couldn't do it because Ford sponsored our show.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, money.
No,
Oh my God.
A real loss.
It was the exact opposite of the picture that Jerry saw of you smiling. That
Yeah.
was my reaction.
Oh,
Just
they-
sad.
This is Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
So I met, I think right around the same time I was hosting that late night show over there. And one of the first things they did is they sent me to New York and to meet with the sales department. And the guy sat me down. I don't remember his name. And he goes, "I'm the real guy in charge of everything." I went, "Isn't that?" And I had met Rupert Murdoch and Roger Ailes, and was meeting Peter Chernin. And this guy goes, "Listen."
Aside from the money, the commercial was also, it was going to be me and Gary Shandling.
Oh my
God.
And
The
I
whole
was like-
world watching you.
It was me, Gary on the Super Bowl. And it was
But
all
listen,
because Schmidt drove a Ford
This is
Flex.
what he said. He goes, "Just do what I say, and you won't get canceled." Chevy Chase didn't do what I said. He was like, essentially, he said, the whole business is me selling ads, and you don't fuck with it. If you make a joke about McDonald's and we lose them, you're in trouble. And it was true. No truer words have been spoken, and you were right not to bump on that guy. You just got to take that. You have to take it.
I said, is there any way around this?
No way.
And collectively they go, no. And I go, all right.
I would bring a beer sponsors to the show and go, hey, Budweiser wants to advertise. Hey, we have Keystone. You tell Budweiser we're not interested.
That's exactly
I love
right.
how this guy sounds like a mafia.
That's how he acted. I mean, it was just fun to, you said it best when you said, when you first moved to Hollywood, you look and you go, God, there's a studio and I just got to get past that gate, right? When you get in certain levels, you get access to things you've never seen. Like, oh, wow, Peter Church.
No, it's like the movie it's like the movie
Murdoch.
network.
Oh, Roger Ailes. Oh, the sales. You're just this is how it really works.
Well, it's like the network when he closes the door.
Yeah. You're stunned. Like, this is really how the whole operation works? It's fantastic. And then he start talking about the other stars on the network. And he goes, you want to know what's really going on with Paula Abdul? I go, I do. I do. Did you get any of that stuff there? No. Fantastic times. Roger Ailes, by the way, who I'm not a fan of, but he was Mike Douglas's producer. So my relationship with him was all about Mike Douglas's afternoon show and how to host shows.
Really?
And he would sit in this giant conference room by himself with all these monitors, just like you'd imagine, right? And I was at the other end of a really long table here. And he'd start talking about, he goes, I'm watching your tapes, and you're dressed like a funeral director. He goes, who's? And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll get new suits. I'll figure it out. Just terrified, right? I'm in the Death Star of Fox News.
Okay, we'll get.
This part I still don't know. Every 5 minutes, his assistant would come in with a folded piece of paper and hand it to him. He would read it. He would hand it back to her, and she would leave. And then he'd go, we're number one in cable news right now after last night's show, but continue.
Continue.
And then she would leave, and we'd talk, and I'd sweat, and then she'd come in with another note. Open it up. You tell Bill O'Reilly that he's going to do as I say.
All these guys talk the same.
It was like
Hitman.
And I think it was all fake. I think every one of those things was fake, and he was just trying to impress me with how he was running the whole deal. And then he said something to the effect of, this whole operation here is just about money, right? I went, what? I go, you don't believe? He goes, no, it's just about we found a way to make money. Just a contrary opinion, and that's what Fox News is. And now look, we're the most profitable.
Just a contrary opinion.
Yes,
just a contrary.
Just throwing out a contrary opinion. No one was saying it. Now we're saying it, and we're the most successful part of this News Corp organization. And how much I had to bite my tongue and go, yeah, but you're fucking the world up. But I did. I was respecting, like, well.
And then he invited you to his wedding.
You're making a lot of money.
You were like, well, I don't want to get the show canceled, so yeah.
That sounds good. Well, David Cross said it best. I asked him, I go, do you think you could ever go back to work for Fox? He goes, if I started thinking that way, I wouldn't be able to work for anybody.
Truly.
And that's great advice, right? Fox did well by me, and I made some money, and that's fine. And I'm not there right now, so I feel free to talk about it.
Look, I think all of the networks are just great people.
They're all great because we have to work. They're all fine. I just dealt with that with Tesla this morning with my wife. I said, aren't you excited about your new car? And she just looked at me, and I went, aside from Elon Musk, aren't you excited about that new car? Safest car.
You got to get the Lucid.
Yes.
By the way, let me just say this before we close. Zuckerman, you would love this. I ordered this new car. I pressed a bunch of buttons. They said, come pick it up on the lot. I went down there. I told you I was down there for 1 minute, for 60 seconds. Spike Ferguson, he goes, yeah, that's your car right there. We can take the ribbon off it. I go, don't have to sign anything? He goes, no, you already did it. That's so
impressive.
easy. It was so easy.
You don't have one of those, do you?
I would never get one.
I don't like the
whole thing. No.
Does this bother you too? Because this is a huge. I can't get over this. I cannot wrap my head around a car that doesn't make noise.
Oh, well, let me do that for you. Because that is a very common reaction to electric cars, that and the regen braking, the one-pedal driving. Music. The electric car is taking noise out of your environment so you can enjoy music, you can enjoy a podcast, you can enjoy the sounds.
I'm afraid I'm going to run something over.
Well, it has a sound outside the car that won't happen. It makes a sound.
It has to. It has to make a.
Yeah.
By law, it has to make a certain noise.
And I think
for people to be able to hear it, it makes like a little shushing noise.
What?
Yeah.
He just wants you to do the sound again.
Do it again.
The first time he just went this, it goes that. It goes. I go. No one's gonna hear that.
Yeah.
No, they do. Now, many of them are annoying. Mercedes is a little annoying. There are a lot of annoying sounds, but you can control it all now. It's all fun.
I'm not.
I'm with you. I don't have a use for it. I don't have a use for that guy either.
Yeah.
I know you love the Tesla.
I mean, it functions in my house well. I don't have to buy gas for it. It charges up. It makes life easy. Yeah. But I like driving that blue car over there more.
That makes a lot of noise. Lots of noise, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our show, man. We've done a whole show.
I loved it.
So fun.
This was so fun having you on the show.
Hey, Greenfield, come outside. I want to show you something.
The best.
Max Greenfield. I got something here.
Come outside with me for a second. I got to show you something.
Now he's going to take you through every one of these cars before you go.
I do want to see. I'd like a brief tour.
We couldn't be more excited about your success, Max. You are an absolute star in our new movie, which comes out May 3rd. I'm going to show you the trailer right now that you're going to absolutely love.
I'm very excited.
We're proud of you. We're proud.
We knew you when you was nothing.
We knew you back when.
You were just nothing.
You were zero.
Just some schmutz.
I remember Paul going like this, pointing to you and going, and you were like a little in front of him. He goes, he used to write on Seinfeld.
People are still saying that about me.
And I don't know that you guys were like as close as you were.
We were neighbors. Yeah, we were just neighbors. But we weren't that close. No.
No.
Zuckerman was a very odd person to me. He was a little too festooned in his suit. He had hats and weird gentlemanly attire that I didn't quite understand in Hollywood context. But
I had a job.
Yeah, that. Like my whole.
I was one of the few that had work.
That's what Zuckerman. I'll be completely honest with you. One of the reasons I got into show business is so I didn't have to wear the suit.
Yeah.
And then ended up doing a late night show where I had to wear suits all the time. But like that was I couldn't even face the idea of going to an office, let alone dressing for the office. It was claustrophobic to me. So you and I were just on until I realized the comedic potential that was there, the untapped rawness of your comedy. And then I went, oh, this is a funny guy. I should lure him into my business.
Oh, because I would hang with you a lot.
Yeah.
And then much later when I saw you guys were doing this and it made complete sense.
Complete sense, right?
Complete sense.
Yeah.
And then I'm still waiting for the Paul show.
I've offered it to him many times. He's got a real job. Actually, like I do. We can only do this once a week.
You writing the Zuckerman.
Oh yeah, we have talked about that. There is something written that is coming out we're taking out.
I mean,
right now, that has a character based on our friend. Whether it will sell in this climate,
the disappearing atmosphere of Hollywood.
The disappearing atmosphere of Hollywood, where everything appears to have stopped except Max's show on CBS, which your new season is coming up right now. Or did it just start?
Yeah, I think they're like in the middle of it. We just finished filming.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you do a full season or a half because of the strike?
We did 10.
You did. Yeah. And that's with our friend Cedric.
Yeah, he's got about 7-8 cars.
Oh yeah.
He'd be I'll
I know him.
Yeah, you guys.
He
was in the movie.
He was not only in the movie that he and I have written together before, and I went through his car world. Yeah, I should have.
Oh
him on.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah, he'd be great.
He brought me over to West Coast Customs and said, he goes, wait, you got to see all this stuff.
Oh
And
man,
the craziest stuff.
He's the best, Paul. You would love him. He's the best.
Yeah, we love him.
All right,
that's the show. We'll see you next week.
We did it
on Spike's Car Radio.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday and be sure to subscribe. Time for some tasty corn chowder.